Okay, with Joy Shannon, Rock Island Prison, 1864 is the short film. It's 7 minutes long and it's a period piece set in 1864. It's in the title. Really interesting film, gutsy film to make. I'm just curious what kind of inspired you or motivated you to take on this period piece film?
Well, first, I want to thank you guys for having me and for accepting my film into your festival. I'm really, really delighted. I grew up in Rock Island, Illinois,
Okay.
and so that makes a big difference. It's a true story um, from my hometown. And we had, during the Civil War, we had a Union prison. And you really don't expect that in Illinois. You expect those type of things to be in the
I was
South.
just gonna say that you don't, that's not what you expect and like, but go ahead. Yep.
Yeah. So we had a Union prison housing Confederate prisoners of war. And during the last year, the white guards, the Union soldiers who were guarding the Confederates, were replaced by black runaways. These were former slaves, young men who had just experienced freedom for the first time in their lives, and they had to guard the Confederates who were aggressively trying to keep them in slavery. And those were the dynamics. And I just said, I got to make a film on this.
You know what? This has got like Hollywood feature film kind of like a 1990s kind of like concept. It's like we never heard this before, and it's like got that kind of like, you know what I'm saying? I'm surprised it hasn't been told before the story.
Yeah, thank you. And that's the same thing that I agree with you. And I guess it shows that there's so many stories in American history. That's why it's not good, what we're going through currently to ban books and to keep certain aspects of history away and to take away DEI and all those type of things because we're all Americans and we've all contributed and these stories need to be told. So yeah, I agree with you.
So yeah, so it's a great concept at the beginning where like these guys are like, wait a minute. Remember, this is 1864. It's like this is 160 years ago. These are the soldiers that are gonna are these are the soldiers. Like it's a really great beginning to the film, where it's then you're just and you're kind of taken and then you have to go historically after for me personally, okay, did this really happen or did she make this up? But it's true. It's 100% true that this took place.
Yeah, no, it is factual.
Yeah.
And the research was fascinating. I mean, the more you learn about the Civil War, the more there is to learn. It was a very, very exciting point in American history. And no matter how you look at it, it was just very exciting and heartbreaking at the same time because so many soldiers on both sides died and lost their lives. But it it was needed. It helped to get this Black people out of slavery, and it helped to determine a lot of America the way it is today. So, but yeah, the research was fascinating. Just going to the historical sites, meeting with the director of the Arsenal Museum, and that's where the prison is where the Arsenal Museum is today. And you never could tell. But and then just seeing the tombstones and seeing the names. So yeah, it was really a good deep dive.
Is there a bigger story here? A
Well,
scripted version?
I'd like to make it into a feature or a series.
Yeah.
Because it can go on and on and on for, a certain amount of episodes in a series. And it would go beyond the prison if I did it in a series because Rock Island has a very interesting anti-slavery history. About an hour away in a place called Geneseo were 38 white abolitionists. And these guys were staunch abolitionists. I mean, some of them even died over it. And so in a series, I could explore them some. And then John Deere, who was, the original John Deere, who was they called him back then a plowmaker, he was an abolitionist and he lived in an area called Moline, Illinois, which was near Rock Island. I don't know if you're familiar with the Quad Cities,
No.
Moline, Davenport. Okay,
Okay.
maybe about 2 or 3 hours from Chicago.
Okay.
Um, so yeah, so it has a very interesting anti-slavery history. Right across the bridge in Davenport, Iowa, Dred Scott lived there for a few years. He was there. His owner, his master, was a doctor at the well, it's the Arsenal, but back then it was called, I think, Fort Armstrong. And Dred Scott was, which was right across the bridge from Rock Island. I mean, just within minutes. So it has a really interesting anti-slavery history. And there were other areas. I think the first anti-slavery society was just a couple of hours away. So those are very, very powerful, fascinating stories. And I certainly would like to and continue them. And also in the anti-slavery society, these were, of course, at that time they were all whites who were against slavery, and the white women wanted to join, but they couldn't because they were women. So they
Yeah.
started their own anti-slavery society. So it was just really, it was a good time of people taking a stand in Illinois, which you don't hear much about that. So yeah, I think it would be good to shed some light on that.
Yeah, because all we knew about Illinois in the Civil War era is that that's where Lincoln was from, right? So
Yeah, yeah, I know. Yeah, yeah. So it's good to know that no, there were fighters there and there were people that stood up. And yeah, so it was really good.
But
Good
there's something
research.
interesting about, like I said, like it's like a kind of like a Hollywood movie where like one a slave turns into a Union soldier, right? Like it's like it flips that fast, right? And you can just see that. You can just see that like in you know what I mean? You can see a bigger story here. So let's talk about your script. Did you always kind of like when you first wrote it, you wrote it like kind of said the 7 minute short film?
Well, no, I first wrote it as a series. I did the pilot
Okay,
and
so
then
then
I
this is kind of
did,
almost a proof of concept then.
yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, just to try to get it out there
Yeah.
without trying to, raise a lot of money, even though I have to at some point try that next. But yeah, it was first the pilot, then the second episode. Then I did a feature version because you never know what people are going to ask for. And so
Okay.
then, still working on those, but I wanted to show something. And so we shot it in one day and I ended up shooting it back in LA. So even though it takes place in Rock Island, I shot it in
Yeah.
LA. We did it on a sound stage. And yeah, so that was and the thing about shooting period pieces in LA, it's difficult because the palm trees and all that. It doesn't work for something a period piece from the South. So it was difficult trying to find locations. So that's why we ended up just going in a sound stage because it was just just trying to find something that looked like a prison. It was tough. It was really tough. I
And then
think
how
in
did
the
you find the right part of your script to kind of make this short?
Well, since I couldn't do exterior locations, I just focused on an encounter in an interior encounter.
Yeah.
I wanted to do exteriors, but just finding something that looked like a prison 160 years ago, like you said, was just really, really difficult. So I said,
And
okay, let's just do it inside.
and you want to make a like its own film, its own beginning, middle, and end story, right? So
Yes,
which it is. And
but
then
if I was shooting at the short in the South, I could have done exteriors because there's a lot of old buildings there, even in the Midwest, that look like prisons. I think Shawshank Redemption, I think they shot that at a building in the South. And yes, I could have found a nice old building that had character. But in LA, it was just really almost impossible.
and they like to do their reenactment still, right? So they have their in the South. Even
Yeah,
though they
yeah.
lost, they still like to do their reenactments for some reason.
Yeah, that's true. So
I never
yes, it was
understood
fun,
that.
fascinating. And then we got a guy to compose the music, who I think, was nice. We did a combination of Civil War music and hip hop in the beginning. And
Yeah.
Joe composed it, and I think, it was really exciting to take those two dynamics, the hip hop and the Civil War, just trying to make it a little more contemporary.
I just looked that up. Mansfield, Ohio. That's where they shot Shawshank Redemption.
Oh, it was
Did
in Ohio.
exteriors.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So not too
Yeah.
south, but yeah, yeah. Midwest, I
Yeah.
guess.
Yeah, because it's hard to find those buildings in Los Angeles. But we did what we could.
So the casting is extremely important in this film. They're telling, like you said, it's all interior close-ups. They're telling your story. How did you find your actors?
I put ads on Dramalog and had a really wonderful response. I think, I mean, we got a lot of headshots. And I needed someone that was comfortable with the material because there are, a lot of good actors, but maybe they're not comfortable with certain type of
Yeah.
materials. But oddly enough, everybody was comfortable with it. And, no one said, "Ooh, no, this is, in the wrong direction for me." I was surprised as to how many people said, "Sure, I'll do it," because actors like to act, and that's the beauty of living in someplace like LA. You have a lot of actors who they want to act. So we got Danny. Danny plays Clement, and he's from the South, but he lives in LA, and he didn't mind playing a Confederate POW.
Is that
And
what you're
then,
worried about? You're worried about the white guys kind of playing
yeah, like they might say,
racist?
"Oh,
Yeah.
I'm not sure if
Yeah.
I want to do this."
Yeah.
You just never know. You never
Yeah.
know when you write it. But no one's stepped out. No one said no, thank you. We were like, yeah, because like I said, actors like to act.
Mhm.
And our DP was really, really cool and cooperative and gave us what we wanted, and we just flew right through it.
That's Justin Phillip, your DP.
Yes, yeah, really nice young man.
So have you worked with him before?
No, everybody basically was new. I just put the ad for the DPs. I think I put the ad on Craigslist.
Okay.
Yeah, put it on Craigslist and looked at their resumes and their demo reels. And it was always, if they could come with the gear, that helps a lot because
Sure.
renting gear can be high. Um, so yeah, it was just everything just worked out.
And then
The
and so
costumes
that
were kind of fascinating to get the costumes and the rifles.
I was
That
just going to
was
ask that. So obviously it has to be realistic. It has to be authentic. So where did you get all the costumes?
Well, there's a guy in Burbank that specializes in replicas because they weren't real guns, of course. They don't have the belly to take ammunition or anything, but he specializes in replicas of Civil War rifles and pistols and things like that. So that was cool. Just did a lot of research and got those from him. But even though they couldn't shoot, I still wanted to be careful because I just wanted to be careful. So every time we finished a scene, we had a young person, and his only thing that he had to do was to gather the rifles and take them off the set, keep them with him, and then bring them back on the next scene. Because of that young lady that DP a couple of years ago that had that horrible shooting
Yeah,
that
the
happened to
Alec
her.
Baldwin. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, so you just want to be careful, even though yeah, just and for the costumes, the same thing. Just did a lot of research and had to order them. And that was fun. It was really, really fun just trying to find the right ones without spending too much. Because, we didn't want to spend a whole lot because we just needed the costumes for one day. And when they arrived, they were wool. And I was like, oh my gosh, the guys are going to faint. But
yeah.
no one complained. They were made of really thick wool, I guess, to make them look authentic. Um, but yeah, and got the caps from Walmart and the costumes from a rental house, and so it worked out.
So the arc of the film is it's get to get the three soldiers, the three black soldiers, and their kind of confidence or kind of authority to the other to the you know what I mean? And the way you shot is that they're never in the same shot together. They're like kind of separated in close-ups, and it's about like this kind of standoff. Like and the one soldier has, even the way you shot him, the close-up, he's got doubt. He doesn't have that, like, but basically that's the arc in the 6 minute film, is this kind of standoff in about them asserting their authority, or them asserting that this is the new era that they live in.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's about change and accepting change,
Yeah.
and it's about standing up to the past.
Without violence.
Yeah, even though and it's also about the who's on the bottom gets to be on the top. It's reversing the roles.
Yeah,
Um, so yeah, so it's symbolic of a new America that had a lot of resistance, but we slowly got to.
yeah.
But so yeah.
Well, you referenced it in the beginning where about today's like it's because we're watching it from the lens of the modern world that we live in. That's sort of what these movies are about. So there is a lot of similar themes, I guess, to what's happening today.
Oh my gosh, yeah. And it's really unfortunate that it is. But you're right. I mean, the Confederate soldiers represent extreme the extreme right. And then the black soldiers represent, where black people are today, just wanting a better life. I mean, that's just basically it, just wanting a better life and still having to fight for that up against such a, the extreme mindset of so much being taken away and within the last 60 days just so much taken away, just left and right. It seems like we're going back. It seems like we're going
Yeah,
back very, very quickly.
but they're
So
doing that because they're scared of of like the white kind of old man is scared of like them not being in power anymore, right? So that's there's a reason why they're doing it. So
oh yeah.
if
Yeah,
there's
it's
any
not by
saving
accident.
grace, I
Yeah.
guess, right?
Yeah, no, you're right. It's not by accident. It's by design. It is
Yeah,
absolutely by design. So no, it is applicable to today, and it's a message of that like I said, we're all Americans. We're all made by God, and we have to stand up. And that's what those young men had to do in the film. He had to stand up to them.
yeah.
So that's the message for young people. If not, we'll end up with nothing.
And
And
also too, we all we like for some we have to always remember our history too, right?
mhm, that
History
is
is a
right.
subject in school for a reason. We have to in like the real history,
Yeah,
not
yeah.
you know what I mean. But it's because these because we're humans and we're flawed and we keep making the same mistakes over and over again, and we have to learn from our mistakes in
Hmm.
many ways, right? So
Absolutely, you're right. But it's been a good journey. We won an award. We got an award from your festival, Best Drama Short, but we also got an award last week from the Hollywood Reel, REEL, Independent Film Festival in Los Angeles. We won the Best Drama Short there, and we've been nominated in the Los Angeles Film Award. We were I think the semifinalists and in the Venice Shorts
yeah,
of
I
Los
see it
Angeles.
on the film freeway. You've got some screenings.
Yeah, yeah. So and more to come. We just started our festival run, but it's a good run. It's won't get into every festival. That's impossible.
If you
But we're
just
happy.
started it, you're doing well. Let's put it that way.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you.
And I
And
have to compliment you on your website,
oh, you like
rockislandprison.com.
it? Oh, thank you.
Yeah, well, you don't see it such a nice website for a short film like this. I think it's one of the better ones I've seen for a short film.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, the guy Breeze did it. I love how he has the flags behind the guys moving.
Yeah,
I'm not sure how he did that, but it works.
you got a nice menu and you kind of show everything what's happening, right? So,
Yeah.
do you have an Instagram page?
I don't. I don't. I need to get more all the social media up. We have the website and we're on YouTube, but I don't have the IG and then a couple of other ones need to get.
Because
So
yeah, because you have a great photo gallery in your on your website. So
yeah.
right? So like no, I would definitely do that. But yeah, it's
Yeah,
really
it's a good
great. Some
idea.
great behind the scenes shots and everything. And
Yeah, that's a good idea to just go ahead and just knock them all out.
yeah,
So
that's a good way to put it, right? So yeah. But
try to
and
get
then
a
Blue
bigger
Sky is a
following.
new way. Blue Sky would is a great site for this stuff.
Yes,
Right?
I
So
know. Are you on it? Is the festival on it?
yeah, yeah, totally, 100%. Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna join it. Yeah, it's new and it's where to go.
I'm a big
Blue
advocate of it.
Blue Sky. Okay, thank you.
Because
Thank you.
nobody owns it, right? So basically, in it seems to be monitored in a proper setting, right? So there's craziness always, but there's not like radical craziness, I guess, and
It doesn't
misinformation
it
yet,
doesn't have an
right?
owner?
No,
Huh.
yeah.
Okay. Okay.
So it's sort of like it's there's no well when you don't have an owner, you don't there's no ulterior motive, right? So
Yeah, that's interesting. I just
yeah,
would have assumed that they all were owned.
yeah.
Do you make
So it's, I
films
think
also?
sorry,
Are you a filmmaker also?
I back in the day, but I do this now. So yeah, I
Okay.
understand the concept of making shorts for sure.
What genre did you work in?
I like drama, romance, I guess, and yeah, drama and I tried, yeah, I think that's where everybody kind of you kind of figure out where your strengths are, right?
Mhm.
Tone wise.
Cool.
It's all
Cool,
about
cool.
tone, right? So basically it's
Yeah.
about where you feel where your soul feels, right?
Hmm.
So kind of directing the aspects in the actors, making sure that we're all in the same film. You understand that, right?
Yeah, yeah. Do you have anything on YouTube?
Yeah, some, yeah. But it's all about like I said, when you're making your film too, it's like it's all about everybody is making the same film, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I'd love to see it. Yeah, I mean, how would I find it? Or do you just want to email it
I
to
could
me?
tell you something, but it's something that yeah, it's something in a different lifetime. So
Okay, okay. I understand. I
no, but
understand.
it's like I appreciate that. Nobody's ever asked me. Well, I think someone has, but it's been a long time. So
Okay.
yeah, so you do like I said, if you're just starting out, and so you're and you look if you people are watching this on YouTube, you've like you're those are all the films you've done in the
Those are
background.
most of them. Yeah, Uptown Angel was the first feature that I did, and I got a deal. I mean, it shows my age, but I got a deal back in the day with Blockbuster. But I was a kid. I was very young when I did it. And then My Dead Selfie next is a horror film. It's a feature film. Above that is Third Generation Female Gangsta, and it's a crime drama for teens. And then to the side of that is an animation, Canny Sisters. It's a short.
So you're just
Underneath that,
you're knocking off all the genres.
I like hopping around.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I
know because I know
do.
you did a docu-series too, right?
Yeah, yeah. After the
Yeah.
lockdown, Black in LA, and I did it with a family member, Charles Burnett. He's an established director, and then his son, my nephew Jonathan, and then Karen's Judgment Day was a satirical comedy, and just yeah. So I like hopping around. You learn so much from each genre. You learn different things on it, and you bring them to your next film.
So you saw Charles Burnett. Is that your uncle?
No, he's a brother-in-law. Have you heard of him?
Brother-in-law? No, because I just said that it just says her nephew and then his dad. So I was
Yeah,
trying to connect the dots.
yeah. He's an established director. He did years ago. His breakout film was Killer of Sheep, and it was
Okay.
listed in the among the top treasures, 100 top treasures with the Library of Congress, top films. And then he's done some Hollywood things. Oh gosh, he did To Sleep with Anger with Danny Glover. He did The Glass Shield, Cop Story. He's done some TV things. Yeah, so yeah, some things like that.
So what's next for you?
Well, I like to get Rock Island Prison 1864 in a bigger format, either a feature or a series. So that's what's next. Yeah.
So you're gonna get to rack up the awards for this film and then kind of go to
I
the
hope
next one.
so. I hope you're right. We'll
Yeah.
see. We
Well,
shall
it's
see.
well
There's a lot of
performed. It's really well done. Like you said, a lot of close. Like I said, the way you shot the film directorially, it works on all levels. So
well, thank you.
congratulations.
Thank you so much. And just thanks for including us.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much.
And so what we should basically either you make your next short or this becomes a series. We can talk again.
Okay, thank you. I'd love to. I'll stay in touch.
All right. Thank you. Thanks for doing this. I know you're not in LA. You're on work on work on you're in North Carolina, correct, right now?
Yeah, and thank you, but I don't mind, staying up. It's not that late here. Thanks for having me, and I'll certainly keep you posted.
All right. Thank you.